The economist Herman Velasquez directed the WHO Drug Action Program for some time. In 2010, he left the organization after repeatedly denouncing the lack of independence in its decisions.
Unfortunately, all of the decisions made today by the World Health Organization are not decisions made purely technically. They're made more and more with political, industrial, and very often economic considerations and agendas. It has become an organization that to a large part is in the hands of the private sector. Up until 7 years ago, 51% of the World Health Organization's budget came from public contributions from member countries. Today, more than 80% of the budget stems from private contributions, occasionally public, but that is for specific projects, resulting in the fact that fixing priorities to a large part escapes not only the general direction of the World Health Organization, but also the government bodies, such as the World Health Assembly and the Executive Council.
I am now very pleased to welcome, on behalf of the Health Assembly, Mr. Bill Gates, co-chair of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.
In the spring of 2011, Bill Gates is one of the star guests at the World Health Assembly, WHO's legislative body, where the 193 member states' representatives meet once a year. It is rare that a businessman expresses himself at this podium, but the Gates Foundation has become the second largest contributor to WHO's programs, just behind the US government.
I know as a leader of a health ministry, you have a very difficult job. You have many different issues, all of which relate to life and death. But I do believe that as you look at your priorities, running the immunization system well will emerge as something very, very important. Vaccines are an extremely elegant technology. They can be expensive, they are easy to deliver, and they can provide lifelong protection from disease. At Microsoft, we dreamed about powerful and simple technologies. Well, vaccines are such a technology, so they're one of the best investments we can make.
Mr. Gates insists on the fact that he has no influence over the political decisions at the WHO. That's false. In the measure that Mr. Gates says, I'll give money to that, but not for that, he defines the priorities. Because tomorrow, the World Health Organization won't have the money to invest in such and such a disease, only in those that have money behind them, money that would have been given by the Gates Foundation.
It was in January 2000 that Bill Gates created his foundation, while the US Department of Justice brought an antitrust litigation against Microsoft. The computing giant was accused of using its quasi-monopoly position to eliminate its competitors.
Microsoft, the most powerful and successful company of the new age, accused of using and abusing its power illegally. It's a ruling that could affect Bill Gates, the man behind Microsoft, the richest man in the world.
While Gates was giving his deposition in front of the American justice, he no longer appeared as the American hero, nor as the computer genius, but like an evasive man on the run.
In America, no person and no company is above the law.
Public opinion of Bill Gates wavered, and with it, the stock value of Microsoft and his personal fortune. The American magnate then transformed himself into a good Samaritan. He and his wife traveled to the poorest countries on the planet, boosting his image as well as that of Microsoft. Bill Gates officially stepped down from his position of CEO, but in reality was still the president and the largest individual stockholder. The man who wanted to dominate the world with his software was creating a new image of himself, that of the greatest philanthropist on the planet and possibly in history.
The Gates Foundation is the absolute clone of the Rockefeller Foundation. The Rockefeller Foundation was founded in 1913 to put an end to the hostility of the Americans and Congress towards Standard Oil, which was accused of making illegal profits in appropriating land, etc., and especially in polluting the American environment. In those days, we called these giant financial corporations the robbing barons. With Gates, it's exactly the same. We have a huge corporation, which no one can stand because of its dominant position. At this moment, the only way in the US to put an end to these attacks and hostility towards the corporation is to create a prestigious foundation that is totally philanthropic. And public health is the ideal target for that. Nobody today remembers the lawsuit against Bill Gates. People only speak of his foundation. He has since become an idol.
He's one of the great businessmen of our time, and he's certainly the greatest philanthropist of our age. Ladies and gentlemen, Bill Gates.
Thank you. I believe that someday in the future, all people, no matter where they are born, will be able to lead a healthy life.